All right, let's spend a couple minutes talking about drawing triangles. You probably want to do this on paper. That's where you'll get the most use out of it. But here on the video, we'll also try to replicate that. We'll talk about the angles of a triangle first, and then how many triangles you can draw with a certain kind of angle combination. So let's look at a few sample triangles here. What we have here is what's called an equilateral triangle with 60 degrees on each angle. All the angles are equal, all the sides are equal. Here we have a 90-degree triangle here. That's what that little perpendicular angle symbol means, as you probably know. And here it's a 60, 30, 90 triangle. It's a special kind of right triangle. Then here we have another triangle over on the other side that has a really large angle with the 108-degree angle here, and then two smaller acute angles here. And one of the things I want you to realize is what's really similar about all these. So if we add up the angle measures, okay, the first triangle, 60 plus 60 plus 60, that's 3 times 60. You might be able to do that in your head, or 3 times 6, you probably know that is 18, and then it's 3 times 60 would be 180 degrees, okay? Now let's think about this second triangle. It's got a 90 plus 60, so that's 150, plus another 30. That's also 180 degrees. And this third triangle over here, we can probably do the math in our head really quick. We've got 43 plus 108, so that would be 143, 151. And then 151 plus that 29-degree angle up at the top, 151 plus 20 is 171, plus 9 more is also 180. So that seems like an awful coincidence. The fact of the matter is that a triangle's angles must always sum to 180 degrees. That's really useful in math to know that it never changes. And so then you can ask yourself, which of the following, what triangles can you draw? So here's a couple of examples. Which of the following is possible to draw? Here's where paper and a pencil and a protractor would be great for you to try to draw each one of these triangles. I would pause the video and try to do that and then come back. Let's try to draw them here together. So first, what I'm going to do with this first triangle is to go ahead and draw that 32-degree angle. I'm going to then try to create the 53-degree angle, and I'm going to measure that with a protractor as I draw it here. And then the only question is, what is this angle up here? Okay, because if we have a 32-degree angle here and the 53, it kind of makes this angle whatever it has to be. And so when we actually measure that, you could measure it on the video here. Just hold your protractor up to the screen. You see that it's 95 degrees. Now, we could have said that we know that this could be a triangle because if you add 32 plus 53 plus 95, that adds up to 180 degrees. So it can be a triangle. Here we've just proven it by actually drawing a triangle. Down here, there's a different example. We have 40, 30, 120. Let's try that test of 180 degrees that I was mentioning earlier. 40 plus 30 is, that's right, it's 70, plus another 120 is 190. So automatically you can tell this is not going to be a triangle. You should try to draw it on paper to see if you can make it happen. Let's try to do that here in the video. So first we'll draw that, sorry, we'll put the yes up there. First we'll draw the 40-degree angle. So that's 40 degrees. You can hold it up to your protractor up to the video to make sure. Then we'll draw the 30-degree angle there. And then again, the question is, what's this angle up here going to be? You can probably do the math and know that 40 plus 30 is 70, so what would add up to 180? And if you measure it with your protractor, you'll see, yep, that's 110 degrees. So this 120-degree angle, we can't make that into a triangle with a 40 and a 30. So the answer here is no. Playing around with angles to see what you can actually do with triangle will really get you used to how triangles are actually working and how the angles are working within the triangles. Now there's another really interesting thing, and that's how many triangles can you draw with a particular kind of angle combination. So what do I mean by that? Well, if one triangle can be slid over and spun around to just lay right on top of the other triangle, it's not really a different triangle. It's the same triangle. But if it can't, then we call that a different triangle. So let's take a look here at an example. First we'll do a 30, 60, 90-degree triangle, kind of like this one that we had over here. It's a 30, 60, and this, remember, is 90 degrees. Let's go ahead and draw one of those, exactly like the one that we had here. That's one triangle. Can you think of any other triangle that you can draw that's a 30, 60, 90-degree triangle that can't be slid or spun around to lay straight on top of this one? Well, you can think, if you think about it, you could kind of reflect it or flip it over, and you still have this triangle, 30, 60, 90-degree triangle, but I can't spin this around or slide it over. It can't quite lay on top of this first one. So actually, for a 30, 60, 90, there are two triangles that you can draw, not just one. How about with a 60, 60, 60? Well, we can go ahead and draw our 60-degree or equilateral triangle here that's 60 degrees all around. And we could do the same thing. We could reflect it. So because I have those sides here with different colors, that kind of keeps track of the reflection there. So you can see that I've kind of flipped this triangle over to make this triangle. But have I really created a different triangle? Well, not really, because I could take this triangle and just slide it over and it would just lay right on top of the first one perfectly. So it's really just the same triangle, even though we've tried that flipping technique that we used over here. So really with 60, 60, 60, it's still just one triangle. So great stuff to play around with to get you used to how triangles are really working.